Okay, take 7. You've all successfully bullied me into doing this shit for you, so I hope you're all happy, you fucks. If you're watching this because you want to hear my lispy, shitty voice, and also because you want to learn how to rip models from Final Fantasy XIV for uses outside of the game. Good news is, it's not that hard. Bad news is, I'm really bad at giving tutorials, advice, and making videos in general. This is all going to be super off the cuff. None of it is to any script or anything like that. It's just going to be me walking through pretty much what I do. And if it'll take too long to do live, I'll just kind of explain it and you can fill in the gaps. It's not that hard once you kind of get the idea. In any case, you're going to need a few things before you start. 1. You're going to need a copy of Final Fantasy XIV on your computer, whatever the latest version is. Reason for that is because Text Tools only works with whatever the latest version of Final Fantasy XIV is. It doesn't work with any older versions, because it changes around where the DATs are stored and stuff like that. So, yeah. Maybe there's a way to make it work with older DATs, I have no idea. In any case, it's easiest to make it work with the current version. You don't actually have to buy the game to do that either. You can just sign up for the trial, it'll download the game in its entirety, everything's a-okay. The second thing you're going to need is Text Tools. My current version of Text Tools is 2.3.5.10. It gets updates really frequently. You're going to have to keep it updated. Sometimes the updates will break it. Sometimes the updates totally change how it works. I trust that you'll be able to fill in the gaps if anything changes significantly enough that this video is unusable in the future. Third thing you're going to need, Blender. The current version of Blender that I'm using is 2.9.2, I think, like that. In any case, any version of Blender will work. It doesn't really matter. Just get a version of Blender, whatever's comfiest for you. And if it's like 2.79, adapt it for yourself. If you're still using 2.79, I probably don't even have to tell you anything, because you've just mastered it so much. Third thing you're going to need is Unity. And I believe the version of Unity that VRChat uses, because I'm kind of making this specifically for VRChat purposes, is 2018.4.20 F1 or something like that. Whatever it is, it's going to change in the future. It'll be on the VRChat website. You can look it up. You can download the correct one with Unity Hub, whatever. And you're also going to need some prerequisite knowledge, just like basic idea of how to use Blender and Unity, because I really don't want to have to explain shit. It's annoying. No one wants to do that. So I'm not gonna. Anyway. Without further ado, I'm pretty sure that's all there is. So we can get started. So you got the game all downloaded, it's installed, you have no problems, you have whatever mods you want installed using Text Tools. I'm not going to explain that, fuck you. Now you're ready to rip. So what we have to do is go into Tools, open the full model viewer. It's going to be an empty gray blob. That's how it's supposed to be, don't worry about it. Next thing you're going to want to decide is what gear you're going to want to rip, for what race. So I'm going to do mine just for Makote female, because that's what I like. So we go in, I should explain that. What the fuck did I just do? Options, customize, default race, change it to whatever. You can also change the skin color, hair color, etc., etc., etc. It's all pretty self-explanatory. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to have to go into GIMP or Photoshop and change some things in post. But it's not that hard. It's actually really easy. For instance, if I change the skin color to be like blacker than black, it's going to also make like the sclera of the eyes really dark as well. So a way to fix that is to have like pure white color and like whatever other color you have, and like copy the pure white sclera of the white texture over to the new texture in GIMP and just make a new layer, save it as a new image, you're good. But again, it'll take too long, and I don't really feel like doing that since this is just kind of a bullshitty tutorial. So we're just going to keep everything as it is, and you can make up your mind. So keep it simple. Did I change the race? I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I did. Okay, so let's do the Warrior AF1, just because why not, which is the Fighters set. It's this. See, it changes to Makote female. If you didn't change the race, it would default to Midlander male, and you would have to scroll down to get it every time. And if you didn't get the right one, it would still do it right in the full model viewer, but it would be using the wrong model, so it'll be all messed up. You don't want that. Let's change that really quick while we can. So let's add to FMV. There it is, right there. Fire Cuirass. Takes a while because it's rendering it and everything. There we go. Should show up beneath that. Yep. We can show the skeleton now just so you have an idea of what we're working with. It's honestly this easy. You just gotta do this. It used to be a lot harder, where before you had to export each thing individually and reassemble it in Blender like it were a bunch of Lego pieces or something like that, and that's never any fun. Let's do the right breaches. Does it only do it for... You fucking shitting me? God damn it. Let's get rid of these. So we want to do it for the Midlander legs because these are all so muscly. Gross. Ew. These are a bit more feminine-ish. See, they're like not as thick and muscly around the legs. So we can do that there. Do the jackboots. These are only for males because who knows why. Whatever. It changes it in the armature here. Before you would have to like rescale it and everything as well, which is annoying and nobody likes doing that. Say, find your gear here. When you're done finding your gear, you go into character, face. Since we're doing a cat, we're doing female cat, faces. Sure, why not? Just, it's the first option. There are different options here. The first four here are seekers, the others are keepers, and, like, pretty sure, like, other things the game uses, like there's just this blank one here, which I guess is for, like, mannequins, for, like, housing furniture and stuff like that. Here's the Y'shtola's face, if you ever wanted to rip that. You can see your tattoos and stuff are right there. I don't know why she's not in NPCs, but whatever. Let's just do this. And it should put it right there after it loads back in. Now, when you see this, you'll be seeing like all the tattoos and the scars and like the 2 sets of eyebrows and the bead on the forehead. And you'll be like, yeah, I don't want that. But the thing is, it's not hard to remove in Blender. You just, they're all separate meshes. So you can just see right there, there are the irises. There's like part of the head and stuff like that. You can, like, the scars are different meshes. I don't know why it's not showing up. But in any case, see, it's like all different stuff that you could individually remove if you were so inclined. So, add to FMV. And see how, like, the ears and stuff are, like, poking through? You can just delete those too. It's not hard. Everything here is a separate mesh. We're going to combine it later in Blender. But for now, we can take advantage of the fact that they're all separate meshes. We forgot a tail, so let's add that. Tail. Cote female. Sure, why not? All the different tails are here, including a lizard tail for when Ugiri was still considered a Makote female for the game's file purposes. Back before Heaven's Word. There are lots of weird, like, artifact sort of stuff you can find in here that they haven't changed. Add FMV. Tail should be behind her now. Yep. So now we just export. Let's call it just dirt cat, or dark cat. Dirt cat. Export. I don't actually know where this is exporting. It'll probably ask. Right? It'll definitely ask. I'm 100% positive. Have we gotten rid of the original one that we did? I don't think we did, actually. This, like I said, this is the 6th take, so Yeah, I messed up a bit the first couple times, and I'm still messing up, but, you know. In any case, looks like it's saved, so we're pretty much done here. Like, if you want to get weapons and stuff, they're in here. Like, you could look up Rivera, for instance. Rivera. And it would be in here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. And you could rip the textures and stuff like that. I don't know why the specular's all pink. It should be whatever. In any case, we're pretty much done with text tools. We can close it out. Go into here, import FBX. We can copy the file path of derpcat here. All the textures are here. I don't know why I just didn't click on that. Whatever. Import. No, we imported it wrong. Forget that. We can make it a bit easier on ourselves by importing FBX, derpcat, Armature. We can... Wait, it did that? It shouldn't have done that, but I guess it is now. I was going to click on automatic bone orientations, which would basically align the bones with one another. If you didn't, it would look like, let's just do it for example. It would look like this. It would look like a gigantic fucking mess. Let's hide the big base bone just for our purposes. Everything would be jetting out like a big spiky mess, and it would just look bad. Also, ignore the fact the textures look borked right now. We'll fix that in a second. But in any case, let's delete that, do it the proper way. Derpcat, Armature, automatic bone orientation. There's also ignore leaf bones if you accidentally exported it and you want to import it back and you accidentally put on leaf bones when you were exporting as an FBX. You probably already know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, then you'll know soon enough. Anyway, do that. Let's just hide the armature for a second so we can see what we're working with. So all the fucking textures are bork, every single one. What happened? The truth is, I have absolutely no idea. This is just something that happens when I export models from text tools. It's like the normals are inverted, but not. In any case, the only way I know how to fix it, you just get rid of the old material, you make a new one. Let's call this helmet. And the image texture, open, derpcat. And these are all named for what they are. So Fak is face, Irie is iris. I don't actually know what this is. Whatever. This is more face stuff. Why are there two copies of the face stuff? Whatever. Anyway, shoes, more shit. Pants, gloves, top, met, which I guess is like the Japanese abbreviation for helmet, or the Romanized Japanese abbreviation. In any case, D for diffuse. This should be it. I'm like 99% sure. If it's not, I'm going to cry. Yeah, there it is. It looks like shit right now. We can just go into the shading tab. We can duplicate this, add in normal map. We can connect that to that to that, and we can quickly find the normal map, which should be down here, and for normal. And now it actually looks like something. So that's good. And we can do the same for the rest of the model. It takes a bit, but, you know. Oh, and to elaborate, it doesn't, like, break if you export it to Unity as it is, or export it to anywhere, as far as I'm aware of. All it does, it's just a Blender bug. It's a Blender bug where it doesn't show the faces right on import for whatever reason. And that's, who cares, you know? Anyway, call this face. Go into here, image texture, open, and I think this is the face. I'm just gonna, can I copy the name? No, I guess I can't. I think this is what we need. Yeah, it is. And see how it exports a lot, like, a lot. Wait, did I I don't remember if I left the face as like pure white in the color settings. But anyway, I can do that to that. And what we're going to do later is we're going to combine both these materials and remove doubles. We're going to do that the same thing for the eyebrows later. Oh yeah, we can hide the helmet because everything's separate. We can just delete these because we're not going to use them. She's a bald girl. There's 2 sets of eyebrows here. Pretty sure, yeah. So let's leave her with some thick brows. We can just delete those. If you want to see how many meshes there are a fucking lot. So we're going to have to combine these. If for no other reason than because I don't want to lag people. Yeah, see how these are all separate meshes? We'll just delete them. Delete. 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 And, I mean, yeah, we need to add the normal maps. Right, that's a thing. So, shading. Okay, that. Shift A. Normal map. Face A in. Yep. And there. Makes the face look basically the same, but like a bit better. It looks a lot better in Unity. So, is this the... yeah, there are like a lot of little parts. So that'll be annoying. Same for here. There's like hidden stuff under the glove that we can actually just delete because we're not going to ever see it. Unhide that. Rehide the skeleton. We can... the irises are also broken, I believe. We can fix that a bit. But actually we can just leave it. Like it doesn't... I can still see the irises just fine. Anyway. New... top. Image texture. Open. Derp cat. Top. D for diffuse. And we're going to go into shading. I'm sure there's a faster way to do this. I'm not a master with Blender. I should have said that in the beginning. Maybe I did. I don't remember. I know I said it in one of the takes. But in any case, I suck at Blender, and I do a lot of things a lot slower than I ought to. So if you know a faster way, feel free to call me a dipshit in the comments or on DMs or whatever. Normals. XIV models are super, super low poly, but the good normal mapping and all saves them so hard. I don't know why these are all like separate materials, but, or not separate materials, separate meshes, but that's just how XIV rolls. So yeah, we're gonna, whoops, go back into layout mode. We can get rid of that, apply that to top. There we go. Why didn't I just do that to begin with? We may never know. We're gonna top. And I'm pretty sure that's everything. Let's see. Did we miss anything? Are these? Okay then. Yeah, XIV has like a lot of weirdness like that. Or if you don't know about it, it can fuck you later on, so it's just good to know. Anyway. Gloves. We're going to do the same thing. I'm sure like at least half of you are cringing right now. You're just like, oh my fucking god, why isn't he just doing like the thing like he should be? And the answer is because I'm retarded. And also, I just kind of learned Blender on my own and only followed as many tutorials as I strictly needed and asked questions only when needed. Okay. Duplicate that. Shift A. Map. And I'm pretty sure I already said this. I'm just repeating myself because I can. It'll look fine in Unity, even if you exported it with all like the weird messed up textures. It's just a Blender bug. And the only reason I do this is because if I want to take some glamour shots for like the thumbnail in VRChat, I can do that in Blender with some really fancy renders. Or I can just actually see what I'm working on in preview mode, or whatever this is called. Viewport shading. What was I doing? Yeah, if you just have like weird, fucked up, inverted normals, like you can't tell at all what the fuck you're doing. Is this the right normal map? No. Top. No. Gloves, gloves, gloves. Where the hell? Right there. There we go. Now we're all good. And sometimes things clip through. You can just edit the mesh manually if you want to fix that. It's not really a big deal, but if you're autismo about it, sure, go ahead. It's going to clip regardless of what you do. Like, the weighting is just kind of like that. Alright, it's already there. Gloves. Pants. Oh yeah, we can go down here. Just delete these because we're not actually going to see them. Hide the armature again. That's one tiny benefit, I guess. We can actually hide this as well, just to see what we're doing. Pants. Pants. And image. Yeah, like, when I tell people ripping models isn't hard, but fixing them is tedious, this is what I mean. Where there's a lot of things you kinda gotta do to make them look decent. And this is one of them. But, yeah. That's how it goes. Oh yeah. I accidentally clicked on this window, but this is actually a good time to explain. All the UVs in the game are like exactly one down. So like, let me show you. If I mess around the UVs, it does that. And they're also mirrored for the most part. So like, yeah, see, it's going down right down the middle. Yeah. But anyway, the UVs are all like exactly one notch down from where they should be. It doesn't change anything. It's exactly the same regardless of what you do. So even if I fixed it by pressing the G key, the Y key to move it in the Y axis, still exactly the same, see? So you can just leave it like that as far as I'm aware. It's never given me any problems. But let's move it back just because I haven't changed anything else. And oh yeah, save your shit, because Blender likes to crash. And we can move up one, make a new folder, call this cat, why not? VRChat.blend. Save really frequently because Blender hates you, and you should hate Blender. Anyway, shading, duplicate this. Oh man, I kind of wish I made a whole script and stuff for me to follow, and I knew how to edit videos, but I can't write and I can't edit videos, so this is what you get. At least you get my voice commentary, I guess. That's something, if you can actually stand my voice. Anyway, I think we clicked on the right thing. So down, DWN, normal, should make it, yeah, like a nice coarse looking fabric texture. There's also, you could add transparency. You really don't need to go that far. In fact, I wouldn't, just so you kind of know what you're working with. So you see every single polygon and everything. Like if I were to add transparency, it would like make these like cut out circles and stuff like that. And I kind of need to see what I'm doing, so I'm not going to do that. Anyway, let's finish with the pants. Pants. The normals are usually pretty good, so you don't actually have to fix them. But sometimes, specifically with the hair, if your character is going to have hair, along the seams of where the normals go, you're going to have to fuck with them a bit. Let's Met. That's the helmet. Let's fix that really quick. Helmet. I mean, let me show you what I mean about the seams, though. Like, XIV characters, when you rip them, they look like they're whole things, but they're actually not. So here's what I mean by that. There are actually a lot of doubled up vertices, and I mean a lot. Like, if I were to... Let's get rid of this while we remember. If I were to... let's just combine both these, because we do that anyway. If we were to remove doubles, which is now called merge by distance in 2.9, that would be 234 verts we just got rid of. So that's not a small amount. And certain things, it's good to do that. Like things that don't have a lot of back faces, like the head, for example. Usually, like gloves and stuff also don't have a lot of back faces. This would be something that has back faces, because these have a behind to them, I'm pretty sure. Maybe? It's actually... See, I'm not entirely sure. It's somewhere in here. Backface culling. Oh, so these don't have back faces, okay. So these are probably fine to merge. But let's say, for instance, they did have back faces. What would happen is you would remove doubles or merge by distance, and Blender wouldn't really know which faces are supposed to be the forward faces and which are supposed to be the back faces. So it would take its best guess, and it would usually fuck it up. So then you would have a model that you think is okay, you've been working on it for a few hours, and you get it into Unity, and you realize it looks like glitter, just because there's a ton of like back faces and forward faces mixed together that you didn't realize, and yeah. So things with back faces, I would very much recommend getting rid of them first. So you would like have to kind of go inside the model a bit, and like let's assume they're back faces. You would have to like select the back faces and get rid of them. However you would do that. My process is probably really slow and inefficient, so I'm not even going to show you. Also, there are no back faces to demonstrate on, so whatever. But since these don't have back faces, we could just merge the meshes and just get rid of them. Wait, are those back faces? Like these things. These are the kinds of things you have to look out for, guys. I'm pretty sure these are just like solid hunks of mesh, so we're fine. So we can just get rid of those easy peasy. You know, maybe not. Or maybe yes? I don't... See how the normal's fucked up there? What are your secrets? I don't actually know. So we're just gonna leave it as it is. It's something that you'll have to kind of decide for yourself. Like, is it worth getting rid of all the doubles and stuff? The armature and weight painting won't fuck up if you get rid of them. It won't fuck up if you let them stay. It just increases the file size slightly. That's pretty much it. I, for one, just kind of don't like having them just because I like my models being really neat. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. And just straight up, don't do it for hair. Hair is basically just a bunch of planes laid over one another with a fuck ton of back faces. So unless you have infinity patience, don't bother. Bother? I know words. Same with the tail. Just don't bother getting rid of the doubles. It's way more effort than it's worth, and it's not going to look as good. So just leave them. You're fine. Anyway, after that enormous segue, let's finish the boots, and then we'll do the tail, and we'll be good to go, more or less. Bots. Boots. Image texture. Open. Derp cat. I don't know why derp cat's there twice. Shoe AD for diffuse. And we can do the same there. Yeah, boots. So into shading now. Duplicate that with Shift D, was it? Yeah, Shift D. Control A. Shift A. What am I doing? I can't talk and do things at the same time. Link that up to that. Up to normal. Going to open shoe N for normal. See how it has like a nice sort of texture to it now. You can probably like turn down specular all the way just to like make it look not as bad. Trying to figure out this. It doesn't really matter. Like I said, like none of the texture node stuff carries over to Unity, so not a big deal. Anyway, what fucking bone is this? Does this have weight? I just noticed that this. Are there end bones? Why would there be end bones? Hold the fucking phone. Maybe... Okay, so male cat tails are longer, and Aura tails are their own thing. I haven't actually messed with those at all. So maybe there's just like an extra bone in there for either of those, and yeah. Oh yeah, all the bone names are in Romanized Japanese, but once you figure out what they are, it's not that hard. Hara, it's like the base bone the game uses to determine like position and stuff like and throw. I don't know what the hell that is. I've never used that. I've literally never seen that bone before. Anyway, and Hara, it's like a tiny little shitty bone that the game just uses to determine the height of the character, I guess. Like and do like global rotations and rescaling and stuff like that. We don't need it. Kosai is your hips. Sebo A is your spine. So let's actually make the, like we're basically done with like the mesh. Honestly, we could export this as it is. You could edit it if you wanted it for like full body tracking. The legs are usually too long, so you have to like scale the legs to about 90%, and you would have to, let's make the armature. Like we're talking about the armature now, so let's actually see the armature. How about viewport display? Nah. In front. So anyway, back onto that segue. This is just a ton of segues, I'm sorry. If you wanted to edit the legs scaling, first what I would recommend doing so it doesn't look weird is I would recommend pressing this button here. Is it this button here? Yeah, it is. Go into the Relations tab, Inherit Scale, you want to turn that off. Just set it to none. Which means that when you start rescaling the bones in pose mode and saving the new pose as the base pose, it won't scale the feet at all. So like, for instance, leg, let's scale this to like SZ 0.9. This is like more human proportions now. This is probably what your proportions are for full body, so it actually works. So yeah, we can apply as the rest pose. Can move that down. Looks like it's flush with the floor. So now I can select everything, all transforms, and rotation scale again, just because I'm paranoid. You're probably, I don't think the mesh does it. Like I'm pretty sure the mesh is still all like, yeah, we can just get rid of these, whatever. Fuck. It's just random shit Textiles exports with, but if we go here, oh no, apparently it did. What happened before was it said it was all like 90 degrees, so like this, whenever I changed everything, whatever. But yeah, if you have that issue, when you merge like all the meshes, which we'll do soon enough, all you have to do is just like change the rotation to be whatever it's supposed to be, like here. This is not a very good tutorial. This is going way too well. And I say that because it usually doesn't go well. There's usually a ton of problems. But apparently not now. So we're gonna take things, we're gonna pretend things are okay. And like you're not gonna ask me a million questions. We don't need to mess with the tail. The tail will be fine. Yeah, I do see some problems though. Like there are probably a lot of bones here that get exported with the full model viewer that the model doesn't actually use, like this. See, like there's no weight to this. So there's no harm keeping the bones there, but also do so at your own risk. you might accidentally delete something important and you won't realize it until it's too late. But yeah, let's just get rid of that. I've never seen that bone. I've also never seen this bone. It doesn't seem like this bone is here. Also, I just realized, I never said, get the cats plugin. Not for like the fix model button, which doesn't actually fix your model. If anything, it usually breaks it. But because it's a quick button to access pose mode, it's good for merging weights to parent bones. That's something you'll be doing quite often, actually, if you do it the old way, especially. What the fuck? What are these weird 3 knees? They're only supposed to have 2 knees, so we can just get rid of those, I guess. I don't know what that is, but yeah, it's all pretty easy, honestly. It's just tedious. Tedious. Is there another bone hidden underneath this? Yeah, there is. These have twist bones, thankfully enough. And what I mean by twist bones is like, if you lift your arm, excuse me, if you lift your arm, the twist bone will help the lifting arm motion look a bit more natural than if you didn't. It's kind of hard to explain. Just know that those bones are necessary. Don't touch them. They make the model look a lot better. And yeah. If you want to... Oh yeah. Okay, so... This is sort of a VRChat specific thing. You're going to want to connect all your bones such that like your spine and chest and stuff are all connected. So let me show you what I mean by that. So this is the spine, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Sevo A. Also, rename all your bones. I'm not going to do that just because this is a sort of one-off tutorial. Where's the hips? These should be fine. Like, this is sort of what my other model looks like, which I'll show you right now. Actually, let's just open a new Blender window. Neck fix. This looks like shit in Blender, don't worry about it. The hips are super small for this one, and are they straight down? Yeah, they are. So we're gonna copy that, I guess. It's probably gonna work, right? That's how that works. Blender totally isn't inconsistent or anything. I'm gonna just shorten it, I guess. And that should work. Anyway, here's what cats is useful for. We're on Sebo C. VRChat doesn't use upper chest. You can have it nowadays, I'm pretty sure, but we don't actually need it. So we can just merge that to Sebo B, which now has the weights of the upper chest. I'll show you that in a second. See? So, that done, we can, and here's where I bet a lot of people are going to be like, what the fuck are you fucking doing? Because I don't know what I'm doing. This is just how I do this. We're going to move the bone up to be exactly where we're going to move the tail of the spine bone, or no, this is the chest bone, to be where the head of the neck begins. So how I do that is I snap my cursor to active, so now it's up there, and I snap this selection to cursor, and that should be like that. Now we're good. I don't know why all these bones are facing this way. They normally stick straight up, but whatever. Oh yeah, we don't need the ears anymore because we don't have any ears anymore. These are like for the earrings and stuff, but we don't have any, so goodbye. This is for like hair, I'm pretty sure. If we go, this is neck, head. Pretty sure these are like, yeah, Kami is hair. It's always hair. And we don't need that. So we can just get rid of these. Again, like, delete bones at your own risk, because you might accidentally delete one that has weight, and then you realize it way too late and you have to start over again. But it's just good practice. You don't want things that you don't need. And there are probably lots of bones we don't need here, actually. There's probably some... I don't know what the fuck this is. Does this have weight? I thought this was a skirt bone. Maybe it's like where you put your weapon or something. It's like... whatever. In any case, we don't need this. I don't know what this is. Let's check it. It's nothing. The other bone is also probably nothing. The opposite side. Likewise, this is also probably nothing, so we can delete that. Oh yeah, because people don't actually have two knees in real life, we can just do this. Do this. We can say that these are connected, save us some time. Moves into the tail of the leg bone. Yeah, these are the boob bones if you want to play with those. You can mess with the scaling and stuff to get it to your liking. Doesn't really look good, generally speaking, though. In any case. Wait, what the fuck? Why is it? Oh, that's why it doesn't look good. Yeah, you can like mess with that if you want. But I'm not gonna, because I'm not a degenerate like you guys. Are these anything? Okay, so that's the spalter. You can probably make a rotation constraint for that. And you could do a bunch of, like you could move all the arms to be connected and stuff. And normally I would do that because I like my stuff to look good, but it's just, like I said, it's a one-off tutorial. I'm not caring about it that much. All the bones in the fingers look good. I don't know what these bones are. It's probably like where they hold weapons, where they put weapons. Delete. Delete. Anyway, I'm assuming, why am I even explaining this? You probably know Blender if you're watching this, and if you don't, then I don't know what you expected. But you probably know how to do all this shit. So now it's basically time where you can do a lot of edits using shape keys. Now, beforehand, text tools did not export the shape keys. Now it does. And how this works, let's get rid of the helmet, is that if I were to be using the in-game character maker, all of the options right now that this face has would be set to whatever the first option is, whatever the default option is. So she has nose one, she has eye shape one, she has lip shape one, etc. And you'll notice that like there's one less option for like everything. The brows, there's only two brow shapes because I got rid of the old brows. But yeah. So if I were to, this would be like the fourth cheek option, for example. So if I were to use this, it would make her cheeks a little bit chubbier. See? If I were to use this, it would make her mouth a bit wider. This would be the second mouth option. This would be the third mouth option. This would be the fourth mouth option. Etc., etc. You get the idea. So if you're trying to make your character just match all the like face options to whatever they are in game, set it to a value of 1, for instance. I guess these are part of the old... Oh no, you can see the shading changing just a bit, so it is changing the shape of the brows. The other things also, let's just connect everything. Why not? Why the fuck not? We can change things later. Now all the shape keys should change in tandem. So like, let's see. See, it's like making the brows a bit thinner. It's kind of hard to see. Let's do something more obvious, like eyes. So this is the second eye option. This is the third eye option. Fourth eye option. Fifth. So whatever it is, after you've set the value to 1, you press this drop-down button here, and you apply selected shape key to bases. I don't actually know if you need to set it to a value of 1. I just do it because it seems like what you would do. Let's experiment. Let's see if... I I guess not. So I guess you don't actually have to slide it to 1. We're learning together. But yeah, in any case, once you get all that done, you're pretty much done. Like this is like the hyper abbreviated version, okay? This is like hyper abbreviated. Like there are so many things I could get into, like setting it up so you have both hair and a helmet. So if you wanted to make an animation to take off the helmet, you could do that. That sort of thing. Also, like this is kind of why you want to combine or merge by distance, because then you have like stuff like this where it's like you can't select the whole thing. You could, excuse me, you could select it just by like, I think you could, right? How do you? Man, it's been a while. It has been a good while since I messed with Blender. Anyway, I know there's a way you can select with textures, or like by texture. So that's one way you can do it if you can figure it out. I'm not going to bother Googling it because this is already unprofessional enough. I don't need you to watch me Google things. So let's assume we've done everything we wanted to do to this model. You export it as an FBX. You don't use leaf bones. Leaf bones are useless. Don't use them. So if you want to get rid of them, this is checked by default. Uncheck this. It'll be fine. We can say this is derpcat Unity export Unity hub. There's a moth on my wall. It's annoying. Let's make a new project. Why not? 3D. Cat. Yeah, it's the right version. Okay. So create. Let Unity take its good old time doing that. And as it's doing that, yeah, you can look at my desktop. You can see all my H games. I was just playing one. Unity assets. Poyomi is somewhere. Yeah, we're going to use Poyomi shaders. I really like Poyomis a lot. They look super good. Derpcat. Where did I export Derpcat? Didn't I put it here? I'm like 99% sure I did that. Whatever. Where did I put this? Open file location. Oh, I saved it in the new folder I made. Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, let's do this in Blender. Hopefully it exported right. You're going to run into a bunch of problems, I guarantee you, that I didn't personally experience because I'm just kind of doing this really fast and sloppy, and I'm not doing a bunch of really intricate shit. Let's get a little intricate with this, though. Just, I like things being organized. Models. Put that there. Create folder. Textures. Change our scene. Yeah. We're going to make a bunch of textures. We're going to make a bunch of folders first. This will be element. Oh yeah, one thing you should consider doing, just for optimization's sake, is atlasing things that are all basically going to be using the exact same material. So like the armor, it's all going to have like a sort of uniform look to it. So definitely consider learning how to atlas in Blender. There's a very useful tutorial made by Beef, who shows you how to do that. Really good tutorial, really succinct, a lot more succinct than this. And I recommend checking it out. Helmet, irises, face, eyelashes, etc. Anything else for the face? I don't think so. Top. Gloves. Pants. Boots. And tail, and I think that'll be it. We're gonna find out sooner or later, somehow. It's probably gonna blow up in our faces. So, let's just say we're fine with how things are. Let's install Pyomes. This is probably gonna take like 5 minutes because my computer is made of snails. So, using Pyomes, it's not the easiest thing when you're first starting with it. The best advice I can give you is to mess around, experiment. If people want me to go into detail about how I make my models look with Pyomes, I'll be glad to. It's kind of finicky if you don't do it right, and it might not look as good as you'd hope. Anyway, Pyomes is done. So, create material, always face. I'm going to switch it to Pyome Tune. We're going to go and find our face textures, which are right here. For the most part, the original speculars are going to be useless. Don't use them. You're going to have to make your own, but it's not hard. It's basically just making like a black texture with like white over what you want to be shiny. That's basically it. So let's... Hello? What the fuck? Unity? It's like pure white right now because we haven't changed the shadows or anything. It basically thinks we're trying to make a TVA thought, but we're not. We're better than that. So let's tune. Choose like one of the default lighting styles. Yeah. Shadow offset 0 point. Whatever. What am I doing? Stop that. Stop that, me. Shit. Let's say like the shadow strength is 0.5. It makes it look better. For metallics and specular, we don't actually use that for the face. Wait, do we? Yeah, we do. Specular refractions. Specular refractions. We do that. It takes a bit to enable because it's slow. Why isn't it showing up? Whatever. I think it's... Maybe it's we need a light, like an actual point light. Oh no, it showed up there finally. Yeah, like, the face is like latex right now, so we can just like turn it way back so it's like a lot... Wait, wrong one. So we can make it like a lot less, like that much. You can see, like 0.3 is like you got some greasy fucking skin. I use 0.2 personally. And that's like basically it. Like you could get a lot more in depth with just how much you want to do with the faces and stuff like that. That's good enough for me. I'm not gonna fuck with it much more than that. But for the helmet, for instance, the helmet is made of metal, so we want that to look a little bit more metally. And just specular I did it again. Just specular reflections don't really cut it. So let's make a copy of the face texture because we're going to use the same lighting ramp and everything. We're going to call that helmet. We're going to find our helmet textures, which are MT, I believe. These are all exported as PNG, so they're pretty efficient. They're not bitmaps, thank God, so you're not going to make Hunter cry when you load into your avatar. Actually, I think he got fiber, so good on him. That's the specular. Emissive, we need that, and that. So let's change that. Let's change that, change the way the whole thing looks. Looks pretty decent, right? But you realize it's not really shiny at all. So what you have to do, you have to enable this. And this is like Pyome's metallic sort of thing. It's pretty okay, but you need to yeah, you need to... I'm not going to mess it. It'll take way too... Like, this is the kind of thing that I spend the most time on nowadays, where I'm just trying to make everything look good and not, like, trash. But, in essence, once you've got it looking good with your textures and everything, then it's pretty much ready. I didn't talk about making shape keys or anything. I assume you know how to make shape keys. I really hope you know how to make shape keys. But if you don't, I'll also go over that sometime. Oh yeah, you should also rename your combined thing to body. Maybe you don't have to anymore, I don't know. Anyway, go to... I don't have the SDK. Whoops. I forgot the VRChat SDK. I'm really prepared for this, so you can tell. Where the fuck is the SDK? I know I have it. Here it is. This might be outdated. Import materials, section being used, marked as normal. Okay, what the fuck ever. We'll get that later. Oh yeah, this is the one that's going to take a while because the SDK, it's not big, it's just a lot of individual files, so it kind of struggles a bit. Pretend the rest of the model looks decent, you know. I'll show you the other one. Maybe I'll go through like my whole settings with that. I didn't atlas anything because I'm lazy, and still works fine, so fuck it. Yeah, so fix now. I guess that did something. Anyway, VRChat SDK is installed. We can go here, component, see, avatar descriptor. This bitch is huge. This bitch is not huge. This bitch is small. So we can go over here like this. We can go into isometric view. Looks like 5, 4. We can see if that matches up with your eyes. It's like 3, 8, 9. 3, 9 is good enough. So we go over here. We gotta sink it into her head a bit. Probably like 0, 8, 8. I can't tell because the helmet's in the way, but if we go past the helmet a bit, you can tell. So a bit more. So like 9 probably. A bit more. 9, 2. I can't tell. Let's just say it. Let's just say it's that. Anyway, you would say now, like, to find your lip sync shape keys, it would automatically detect them. It's really good. You would fuck with the eye look, make it sure the eyes weren't messed up. Add in all your animations, all your shit like that. You would upload it by clicking on that. I'm not going to show you that. I don't know why it doesn't have me automatically logged in, but whatever. And then I assume you know how to upload an avatar. You give it a name, you give it a nice cute picture, and then you press the upload button. Then it works. And that's pretty much the whole fucking tutorial. Like I said, there's a lot of tiny things you can do. Like you can do the neck fix to make it work better for full body. You could readjust a whole lot of shit. I probably missed some shit and I didn't realize, so I apologize for that in advance. But for the most part, this is pretty much it. Like you can add some rotation constraints to the skirt, make it flow a lot better, add an animation to the tail to make it all swishy, add some dynamic bones, all that good stuff. Whatever you do is up to you, and I assume if you want to do it, you'll either ask me or someone who actually knows what they're doing, or watch a video on YouTube. And sky's the limit. You'll get it. I believe in you. If anyone has any questions, DM me, leave a comment, whatever the hell. And yeah. Thanks for watching. And stop bullying me now, please. I'm tired of being bullied. Just leave me alone.